joining me, we have John, and he is with us from the Turchin Center for the Visual Arts. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks, Danielle. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we haven't spoken with you in quite a while. Tell us what's been going on at the Turchin Center.
What's been going on are lots of things. So we are still, currently, we have some new exhibits, and at the moment, our galleries have AstroTurf on them.
Okay.
So what that means is there's a new exhibit. That is Dream Repeater by Isla Sahi Prouty. And she's a faculty member in the Department of Art at Appalachian State. And she has a exhibit that, yes, has AstroTurf and is based off a dream where the dreamer is in a baseball field.
Okay.
And so she's created a whole space specific for our gallery to mimic this baseball field dreamscape with baseball bats and prints. And last First Friday, we had a really great turnout. A lot of people enjoyed that exhibit, and that's still up. And visitors can come by Tuesday through Saturday when we're open to check that out. More current goings on would be some new exhibits as well next Friday.
Okay.
So I guess
fill us in.
You'd like to speak? Yeah, I'll speak about those as well. Our main gallery, we've had the collection of Alan Thomas for a very long time. It's a wonderful show, but it's time to switch out the main gallery. And we will be featuring William Dunlap, or Bill Dunlap. And he is an artist, career spanning about 3 decades, very prominent in the Southeast, and he was also an App State professor from 1970 to 79. And so we're going to feature his work. He's a painter, he's a writer, very well known, and we've been collecting his work from private collectors all across kind of Virginia. And the other show that we're going to have is the Appalachian Mountain Photography Competition. And are you familiar with this?
I have heard a little bit about it, but give us all the details.
So this is a competition featuring imagery of the Southern Appalachians. And we partner up with Appalachian State's outdoor programs and the Blue Ridge Parkway Foundation. And what we do is we collect users or photographers all over the country can submit photographs about people, places, scenery, landscapes, amateur photographers and professional photographers alike. And we select professional judges, professional photographers, and they select from the 800 images that we get, narrow it down to about 32. And those 32 are the finalists. They're displayed in our gallery.
Okay.
And that's going to be on display next week, next Friday.
Fantastic.
For the First Friday Art Crawl. And the other show that we have coming up is called Behind the Scenes. And this is a local show. So this is going to feature local artists from the community who have also taught workshops at the Turchin Center. And we have a variety of workshops going on year-round. And the instructors featured in this show would have taught in the fall. So if you took a workshop in the fall, that teacher will have their work on display now. And it's also to encourage members of the community to take a workshop at the Turchin Center if they're interested. We're going to have what they'll be doing sort of demonstrated in the galleries with the instructors. And again, these are all members of the High Country. They're working artists in the community. So those are some of my favorite shows because all the artists love to show up and bring their friends, and then hopefully we'll get workshop attendees to help support their research in the arts and their work in the arts, which is always nice.
Now, talk with us a little bit about what an honor it is to have your work displayed in the Turchin Center. It's an absolutely beautiful facility. What does that mean to these artists?
For these artists, I think it is, for some, it could be another skip on the pond. And for others, it's everything. For some, it is their first show, first professional show. And they've been working for years on their craft. We have one right now, the abstract fiber arts of Inika Thomas. She lives in Blowing Rock. She's a local artist. She's been quilting for 35 years and only recently has she found the encouragement to show her work? And
Right.
there's a lot of people can be timid, people can be a little fearful at first and not think, well, my work may not be good enough to show.
Right.
But Inika's a great example. And this is her, she's shown in Blowing Rock, but this is her first time at the Turchin Center. This is her first time exhibiting in Boone, to my knowledge. And to her, it's a wonderful way to own her art, feel empowered to also encourage others
Right.
to find value in their art, whatever it is they may do. You may not be an artist, but you may be a craftsman, or you may have a passion for something. And an artist who exhibits in our galleries, especially if they're local, they get that positive feedback from their friends, their neighbors, and they want to reciprocate that back.
Right.
To encourage others to be the best at what they want to do in life.
Very neat.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned First Fridays as well. Talk with us a little bit about that experience. I've been to a few First Fridays at the Turchin Center, and it's such a neat thing to do.
It is. We have sometimes 1,000 to 2,000 visitors come through between
Amazing.
6 p.m. and 10 p.m. This year, we're operating on a different schedule. Whether you're a donor or you're a non-donor, the whole center is open to you from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. We used to close at 9, but we realize lots of people are banging on our doors at 9 o'clock wondering
Right.
where the art is. So we're open an extra hour, and it's a toss-up every time. We want people to know that when they come on a First Friday, there's always going to be something going on.
Right.
So the last First Friday, we had a performance. A performer came in for the Dream Repeater piece, the baseball dream with the AstroTurf,
Right.
and was performing a piece that was based on the dream, and it involved a piñata.
Okay.
So you never know what you're going to expect. It's always going to be a toss-up.
Right. Piñatas are a lot of fun.
I think so. And you're also going to visit other galleries too. The Turchin Center may be your first stop,
Right.
depending on which way you're coming on 421, I guess. But we may represent the hub or the front door of the arts community on some nights to some people, but there's lots of other galleries on King Street.
Right.
And we all network and coordinate and try to make sure we're going to make the best experience as possible for the visitor.
Absolutely. Well, it's a very, very neat thing. So tons of things going on at the Turchin
Yes.
Center. Tell us a little bit about your website and where people can go and kind of see all of this and mark their calendars.
So you can go to tcva.org,
Okay.
Turchin Center for the Visual Arts, and you can look at our upcoming workshops, you can look at our operating hours, our upcoming exhibits, and ask us a question, because we want to learn, and we're always open to feedback. If someone has a question about a workshop, or if someone's wanting to submit a show for their own artwork,
Right.
we have a email address specifically for that, for art show proposals, and we review them twice a year, and it's open to anyone and everyone. So I
Fantastic.
encourage all to submit to us for show proposals, because it's a wonderful thing to have your art displayed, I feel like.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming in to talk with us today, John. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Danielle.
Absolutely. And we will be back right after these messages with more of the Mountain Television Network.